Hello again. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to talk to you about the quilt that has given me the most trouble so far. Like I've said in previous videos, I've made 4 quilts, and this one was the one that I cried over the most. I think I don't want to blame the pattern or it's really my skill level. I am still a beginner, and so I picked one that looked really pretty but was actually probably a little bit too difficult for me and my skill level, but that's okay. I got through it, and I am going to gift it. This one is for my grandma in the Philippines. I'm actually going to give it to her next year, where I'm going to go with my parents to spend a month in the Philippines visiting my grandma, and I will give it to her then. So hopefully she loves it. I mean, I love it. It's so pretty and it's just gorgeous. The fabrics are gorgeous. The quilt itself is gorgeous. It was just a little too difficult for me, and it caused me some issues. We're going to call them Quirks. The quilt has quirks because you'll see. I like, again, there's that whole thing about not showing your mistakes, but this is real life. This is the nitty-gritty. This is just what happens when you try to do something outside of your skill level, but that's okay because it was a whole big learning opportunity for me. I learned how to do mitered borders, and I don't ever want to do them again. I probably will, but for now I don't actually want to. So this pattern, I bought a kit. So the pattern is called Adored, and it is by Rachel Shelburne. And the fabrics used, that she used here and that came in the kit, is a collection called Aubergine by Debbie Beeves for Maywood Studios. And here it is in all its glory. And it's really just gorgeous. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous quilt, and I love it so much. And it's actually really soft and nice. But there are issues. I think when I bought the kit, I don't think it came with quite enough fabrics, and so that was kind of an issue. I could have contacted the company that I bought the kit from, but by then I'd had it for so long, I wasn't sure if they'd really believe me. Like, oh, really? Your quilt doesn't, like, your kit doesn't have enough fabric? Okay. So I went with it, and I made this, and you can see here the bordering. So this is all, let's see, this is all one piece, this to here, and I had to make it fit like this, like in the little corner. The corners are actually terrible, every single one of them. But these corners, I had to rip them out so many times. I actually sewed them on what they call butted borders, where you sew the sides on first and then you sew the top and the bottom on. That wasn't right. That's not how you do it. My husband looked at it, and I said, I don't know how to do mitered borders, so we're just going to leave it. And then he looked at it and he made a face, and I said, you don't like it? And I started crying, and I was like, okay, I need to actually do it correctly. So what I had to do was I had to take all the borders off. I had to rip it all out, take them off, and then I had to sew back on the pieces that I had cut off. Here's a seam. You probably can't see it, but that's totally okay. It's actually good that you can't really tell. But yeah, I had to sew the pieces that I had trimmed off of the sides. I had to sew those back on in order to then be able to sew them so that I could do the corners the way that I'm supposed to. I didn't know how to do those. I watched a video here on YouTube, and I could not figure it out. And then I watched a different video and was like, oh, okay, that's how you do that. So, I finally learned how to do it. This fabric, by the way, is absolutely gorgeous. Don't know if you can see, the keys, and it's got flowers. It's got these cream colored flowers, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I honestly almost bought more of this border fabric just so that I could do the borders correctly. But instead I just ended up taking them off and I sewed them back on several times. And I finally got it right. And it was a relief to get it done. And so even like the binding is it's not perfect. This is not perfect at all whatsoever. But I made it, and it's actually really soft. I think this is the softest one that I've made. I'm not sure why. I think it's because it's the biggest. I think this is in terms of size, this is the biggest quilt that I have made to date. But it's just, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the fact that it gave me troubles. All the corners look terrible, like where the borders are. Because you're supposed to leave, I think you're supposed to leave a 1/4 inch so you can do the mitering. There's batting. There's batting poking through right there. There's batting poking through up here because I didn't catch it all when I was sewing my binding on to the front. I didn't catch, there it is. I didn't catch it all quite. I'm going to have to go back and fix that. These squares here aren't supposed to look like this because this is where a different colored fabric should be, but I was missing 2. I laid it out wrong the first time, and then I sewed a whole row together and I had to undo it. It's got its little quirks, and that's what we're going to call it. So, and I'm sure my grandma is going to love it. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I did go, I went to Hobby Lobby a couple of weeks ago, and I went to Joann later last week, and I might show those things that I got in a different video. I got something that I'm really excited about that I had wanted for a while. Also, my sewing room is like a humongo mess, and so maybe I'll do like a cleanup video with you. I don't know. I was on my way home today and I was like, I want to make a video, but I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Oh, I can talk about this quilt that has character. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it character. Oh, I keep forgetting to put my other social media names in my videos. If you want to follow me, I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr as Quilts and Cosplay. I know I haven't done any cosplay yet. Actually, I have one. I have one in the works, and we'll talk about that at a later time. So there is no cosplay on my Quilts and Cosplay, but it's coming. It's just cosplay is more, it's more involved than making quilts, because with a quilt you can buy a kit and then you put the quilt together. With cosplay you have to, you could buy a costume, but there's also, like, if you want to do something custom or whatever, you have to figure out how to do all of that. And since I've never done it before, it's all completely foreign to me. So we'll see. But it's coming. I have at least one that is definitely in the works. So anyway, so that's that. And I will see you guys later. Bye.